They were drunkards. Look at all we learn about the orgies in Rome. These were filthy people, but these people were controlling how worship was happening and what the worship was and what people should believe and what they shouldn't believe. And remember from what you have learned from last week and what you know personally, that they were stopping people from reading the Bible. They didn't want anybody to read it in their mother tongue because they wanted to control people. And the man said last week, if we can control people with the pictures, then we can control their doctrine. So it was all about power and control. So the whole point is that if you see people trying to trace church history through this, they are in error. Is that making sense?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Because I always say, listen, this is not about me just speaking. If you're not getting it, you need to speak up. Is there anybody else who is not understanding anything, or did that explain it?
Yeah, I'm understanding it. And just to back you up what you're saying, one of my family members, Catholic, was Catholic, sorry. And she always emphasized that back then they weren't allowed to have their own Bibles. And when the priest would read the Bible, he would read it in Latin. They wouldn't even understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I nod my head when you say that bit.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. This was all about power and control, and we're going to see a bit more how much this has affected things now. So the Catholic Church was the dominant influence on Western civilization from the late antiquity to the dawn of the modern age. It was the primary sponsor of Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, Mannerist, and Baroque styles in art, architecture, and music. Renaissance figures such as Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, Fra, Angelico, Tintoretto, Titan, Bernini, and Caravaggio are examples of the numerous visual artists sponsored by the church. Historian Paul Legutko of Stanford University said the Catholic Church is at the center of the development of the values, ideas, science, laws, and institutions which constitute what we call Western civilization. Let me read that again. The Catholic Church is at the center of the development of the values, ideas, science, laws, and institutions which constitute what we call Western civilization. We are in the age of Western civilization, where Western Europe and Western Europe's descendants, which conquered the Americas, are in control of the system of the world. Remember, I said last week, the beast represents kingdoms and kings and systems, and how the whore of Babylon, the Catholic Church, has ridden not only the empire of Rome, because Rome fell, but now it rides the Western civilization, because it helped to create Western civilization. That's why Catholic influence is so much in the world. That's why when you talk about Christianity, people believe you're talking about Catholicism. This is why everybody in the Bible is white, because they made everybody in the Bible look European. That's why when you think of Jesus, you think of Caesar Borgia, a gay white man. That long hair figure that you see that many of your churches have up, that is a gay man who was, I think, if you Google Caesar Borgia, he was I think he was the Pope's son. And he was in love, I believe, was it Leonardo da Vinci or one of these guys, or Michelangelo, one of these guys. I think it was da Vinci. And he drew a picture of him, and that became the Jesus that some of us revere and venerate. That's why I always say, and it upset people, I don't worship a gay white man. And this is not an attack on white people. I'm telling you what Western Europeans did. And that just helped to justify slavery, because then you could sell Africans that they need to worship, they need to be slaves because God is white. And then that's why they had a slave Bible, which took out all of the scriptures, which would have let the slaves know that that slavery that they were undergoing was wrong. You need to know your history. The reason why everybody in the Bible is white is because of the Renaissance period. Because the Bible takes place in North Africa. There is no place called the Middle East. There's no Middle West. Israel is pretty much Africa. There's no Middle East. So all these biblical figures that have blue hair and blonde eyes, they didn't look like that. I'm sorry. The first Gentile convert was not the Ethiopian eunuch. It was who? Of the Italian band? Cornelius? Of the Italian band? Yeah? So when people try to say, oh, this Christianity is a white man's religion. No, it's a every man's religion. But it didn't start in Europe. It started in North Africa. And it was in Africa well before it was in Europe. And your Apostle Paul was confused for an Egyptian. We need to know our church history so people can't come and talk foolishness to us. Like I said, this is not a race thing. Everybody we're all of one blood. So I'm not going to say I don't see color, because yes, I do. We all do. But we're all from the same parenthood. So this is not about race. This is about truth. Yeah. Everybody in the Bible looks the way they do in the movies because of the Catholic Church and what they did in the Middle Ages and what they have been trying to indoctrinate us into. You don't think the devil knew there was going to come a time when black people were going to say, hold up a minute, I can't worship no white Jesus, no white God, that black people would turn around and reject Christianity just based on the imagery and the oppression of slavery? Like, the devil is not stupid. He's trying to win in every angle. You don't think that he wanted a race war? The Bible said at the end of the day, in the last times, it's going to be nation against nation. This is why a lot of black people are leaving the faith and are going to Hebrew Israelitism, because they're saying, hold on a minute, a lot of this Bible looks like us. And then they're going to the extreme and saying, nah, white people can't be saved. Now, Paul wrote a whole New Testament telling you that if you're a Hebrew, yeah, don't think that because you're a Hebrew, that makes you eligible to be saved. You need to go through the same process the Gentiles go through. You need to be saved by grace through faith. So we need to know our history and we need to know our word. Yeah? Because Moses couldn't have hidden Pharaoh's house if he looked how he looked in the Charlton Heston movie. Let's just stop this foolishness. Let's understand what we're dealing with here and the power and the influence of the whore. We see it right here. The Catholic Church is at the center, yeah, of what we call Western civilization. The hidden hand of the whore which rides the beast of these systems which it helped to create. This is Satan we're dealing with. It's the same enemy. It's the one enemy. It's not three different people. The dragon has given its power to the beast and to the whore. So the Catholic Church rode the beast of the Roman Empire. She now rides the beast of Western civilization's empires. You can view the beast as the enabler, the enforcer, and the propagator of the doctrines of the whore.